Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, guys, yeah, grab your petty tea. How is my royalty? Oh, there is so much to talk about. Like, oh my, yeah. Let's just say there's too much to talk about. And there are some subjects where I know my last episode I recorded about a week or two ago, but then I just uploaded because like one thing politically after another, and then dating nightmare wise, like men kept proving my case. Even like I could like well yeah, I used to want to be a lawyer, but then I realized like after a family member was like, you're not smart enough. Yeah, I'm being petty. It's like in a way I'm like, things happen for a reason, because especially with my creative thoughts and imagination and my drive and my want to start a business and things like that, would it have meshed? And also, when it comes to some of these cases and some of these criminals and everything like that, yeah, it's like yeah, defending some of them, and especially if I'm just like, did you do this? Did you do this? Oh, you know, because especially when, oh, dating night. Like, do you know how many men who have had records? It's like they match with me on dating apps and they want to go out with me or date me and things like that. But then it's like they say, I'm done with that. I've turned over a new leaf and stuff. But then you find out it's all lies. You find out it's all lies, and they're still doing, yeah. But and then remember Mr. Lockakey? Yeah. It's like I hope, like especially now that he's a father, that fool is a father. That fool is a father. If you don't know, I have over 500 episodes catch up. But yeah, it's like he literally tried to have me arrested for his crime. He, like, and me just driving because of a Michigan law. He was, yeah, just catch up. But anyways, yeah, there's so much to talk about, and I'm gonna get on some dating nightmare episodes later because I keep getting more proof, but the political stuff has stopped. It's kind of funny. Like around March, all of the sudden, all of these orange man supporters, all of these Republicans, they weren't, harassing me much anymore. And now it is quiet. It is so quiet. You can hear a baby bunny pass gas. That's how quiet it is. Because baby, it's like, yeah, they don't want to call me, the same R word that the orange man called, our Minnesota rep. Yeah, you know which R word. They don't want to try that. They don't want to try that. At least not right now. They want to bully me, and that's going to come back in a minute. They want to harass me. They want to do so many things, but then they're going to find out that everything that I have said while I used to do live streaming on the app, everything I've said when they try to write me, and it's like, you're nothing but a slave. You're nothing but Jim Crow. Oh, you're so stupid. The only reason you want to adopt is so you can get a check. Yeah, those are the kind. Oh, why would a white Republican or something like that want to date an N word? You're worthless. You're like, yeah, these are the messages that I got. It's funny with how much they try to bully, with as much as they try to just put people down. It's amusing because now that Democrats are like, okay, you want to be petty? Let's go. All of a sudden, they're like, no, 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 no. Democrats are supposed to be the nice party. You're supposed to be nice to me. I'm supposed to be the absolute awful person because I have the power of the cross. So next Sunday, I can just repent all of my sins and God's going to forgive me because, yeah, it's like all of the hate and all of the awful treatment, He's going to wipe it all away. Yeah, because that's what the blood, yeah, yeah. You know what story I'm about to talk about. You know what story I'm about to talk about. Yeah, sure will. Because yeah, that college student, that college, and I'm going to talk about it in different angles from a Christian, especially a Christian woman, and also as a professor. And I haven't taught in a little, like, well, about a year. Yeah, but I've taught 20 to 30 classes, so I think I'm able to chime in and everything. And especially with everything I'm working on in my life, yeah, look, I think I can, especially from after teaching. I think I just missed 30 classes, but I once, yeah, let's just say I'm working on, you know, getting back in, but at some, yeah, okay, I won't drag this. Oh, do I want to? Well, actually, yeah. Do I want to drag the schools? Do I want to drag them? Maybe like I have the one university. Cause they, yeah. Let's just say, in my opinion, well, there's a lot of ableism. There's some ableists there. They don't want to see someone with a physical disability, moving around their campus. Yeah, yeah. But it's like that is a story for another day and everything. But yeah, yeah, it had. And this, like, and I'm saying this because, especially being in several different minority groups as a disabled woman and a black woman, being a professor is difficult because some of these students, they don't take you seriously. Like, they want a white man, a straight white man, a cis straight white man in front of the classroom. That's what most of these students want and expect. And if you don't fit that, then some of them will kind of resemble monsters. Yeah, because I've told you several stories of some of the treatment that I've gotten from some of the students with my walking disability. Some students tried to trip me on purpose. Some students called me Professor R word. Yeah, they have something in common with the president. They should be so proud. And or they would call me Professor Crip. Yeah, yeah, you already know what the Crip. I'm not gonna. Yeah, they would call me that. And or I will never forget. It was, I believe, during a winter semester, there was this one white cis male student. He had the nerve to, like, try to brag to me or try to hint to me that I look like his last Hooters waitress. And he just thought that was he, ha ha, and everything. And I did have a little petty comeback. But yeah, it's like a lot of, especially white cis, students. Yeah. A lot of the colonizer students. It's like, but then I'm not even gonna. Oh, I've had some of the people of color, black students, who they didn't want me in the class, in the front of the classroom either. They thought that was not my place. They didn't like that I was, that I'm highly educated. They thought, no, that you're not supposed to be there. Yeah, especially, well, they're, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I'm not gonna drag them today, but I will one day. I'm very petty. I'm very petty. But okay, okay. when it comes to, well, I've even had it because, especially being in two different groups, like as a black woman, having students, even like again, colonizing male student, yeah, you know who the colonizers are, told me that, oh, well, since you probably went to school in Detroit, I already know I'm smarter than you. I already know that I don't have to try that hard in class. Yeah, yeah, that's what he told me. I think this was the first or second day of the semester. That's what he told me. And then there was a student who told me, there's no more racism, so when are you guys just gonna get over it? And that was a person of color. That was a person of color. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I can go on and on and on, but especially as being a professor that fits in different minority groups, it's like, because, oh, I had another student who he decided, like, since I tell my disability story the first day of class because I want my students to be aware and I want them to know that, yes, I am disabled, but I am in front of this classroom. I am teaching you this class. I know this material. I know what I am doing. And also, I want them to know. It's like, because a lot of students don't know about the disabled community. They stereotype the disabled community. How do I know this? Because students tell me. I like, especially once they gain, my trust and I gain like theirs, but vice versa. That's when they start telling me either how they thought of black people one way or women one way or the disabled community one way. I get to hear all of their isms sometimes and how I made a difference, and or throughout the semester how I kind of, you know, but then, oh, and I also had one class where mm, this was right before they like, cuz I with every semester I change up and switch up the type of projects and stuff. In this one, I told them to create a soda and a soda commercial to go with that. And there was a group, all of them were MAGA. Cause yeah, the colonizer boys had like, they were like, we all have to, stick together and also sometimes slip some racism and racist comments to the black professor. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. It got to a point where even one of the students told, like, I believe the janitor was coming in one day and I was leaving, whatever, but one of the students told them, and that janitor was like, "Oh, if that ever happens again, let me know." And they told security, and the security person came and they were just like, "If that happens to you, I got your back." He was like, that is uncalled for, because yeah, they've done like but when they did their soda commercial, they decided to call it Grape Drink. And then they had a bunch of pictures of stereotypical African Americans. Like only rappers and gang member kind of pictures. Yeah. And the presentation was very stereotypical, very degrading and awful. It was just to a point where I called them after class to go over this. But then one of them tried to threaten me. hmm And then one of them tried to accuse me of reverse racism, the same type of thing that this young lady tried to do with this professor. So yeah, it's like, that's why it's like I have empathy, because especially the school didn't have my back with all of the hate, all of the isms that I had to face within the school. hmm A lot of these schools, they don't have the professors back. They don't care. They don't. Some of these students will lie. They will, it's like, because even with one of the projects that I had with one of my classes, it was about 420 day, April 20th. Because a lot, like, especially since it's legal in Michigan, it's like there's companies there are distribution places that they have long lines and or specials and stuff, and some of the students who are partake, it wasn't like a huge thing, but at the start of the class I'm like, oh, so who went to one of the places, how long was the line, why did you stay in that line so long, how was the customer service. It's like I talk about the experience because experience is part of the marketing. Experience helps bring customers back. And so I try to talk about that. But I had a student, like, even wrote the dean trying to say that I tried to talk about special candy, y'all. Like, excuse me? Like, twisting everything, lying. And then he tried to say that I accused him of being a racist. No, well, other students did, and they came to me after class asking me questions about him. But no, I didn't. They did. And maybe it's because of some of the things he had said and did. And when he talks about me behind my back, like especially when they had to work on their projects at the school library, and some of the students heard some of the awful, terrible things he said about me. So then they would come and tell me that some of the remarks were racist. Yeah, but I never called him one. But then, yeah, it's like, so when it comes to this professor, I have so much empathy for her because I know some of these schools, they don't care about us. They want the money. They want the students' money. They don't care about us, especially since we are in minority groups. Because her and I, we are in different minority groups, but we are both in minority groups. We are both going to be treated unfairly. We are both not going to be appreciated, especially with us both having talent and being able. Because when I do my job, I do my job. Because I will never forget, because this can kind of happen more than once, but there was one specific semester where I will never forget. It was, I think, the first no, it was the second week of class. It's like my one of my students came up to me while I'm closing down and everything, getting ready to close the night or whatever, and he was just like, Professor, I just gotta let you know that is the best class I've ever had. I've learned more in one of your classes than I've learned in a whole semester with majority of the professors at this school. And part of me was just like, is this is this man just trying to suck up to me? Is he just trying to? But then, like, students were talking at first, but then everyone got quiet. And I saw not like students started nodding. And that's when I kind of froze. And I looked around and I'm like, are you guys for real? Really? And they were just all nodding. And one student was just like, I am so excited about your class. This is going to be so amazing. And even the last semester, I had students tell me that I should be at like teaching like university full time because the way that I break things down, the way that I help them with their creativity, and the way that I like I mean, and I will admit, like, every semester I try new activities, and sometimes the activities don't work in the way that I want them to. And so it's like, and I allow the students, like, okay, you laugh, I laugh, okay, so let's fix it. And then we turn it into something else, whatever. But the students gain more from it. They see how I like my creative concept, because I'm like, kind of like a business. Sometimes you have to go with the flow, you got to figure it out. And that's one reason I love the fields that I've gotten my education in. And when that reminds me, I have had students, colonizer mostly students, who say, how did you get your degree? How did you finish? It's like, and they don't know how racist that is, because they're, and I've even had students say, "Where are you really from?" No, no, professor, where are you really from? How do you talk like that? Yeah, I've had all of that. All of that. And so, teaching as a professor who was black and female and has a disability, I've experienced a lot. But it's like, even when I got the job, Mr. No Heart and his family, it's like so many colonizers tried to, degrade me or tell me, you're not good enough. Because it's like, even Mr. No Heart's mother, Mrs. Masher, the only reason you got this job is because you're black. And I had to let her know, like, well, with my interview, when with my resume, they were impressed because I not only have the years of experience, hands on experience and things within different areas of the subject matter. And it's like, also, it's like, since I have another master's in teaching and training and things, it's like, no, I didn't get, like, because there was a time where I let their negativity get to me, but at the same time, no, I know what I worked hard for. I worked hard for my degrees. I worked hard with, like, working as a promotional model. I've worked for over 50 companies, way over actually, and I did that for about 12 years. 12 years working all around, like the country and things like that, and for so many different types of companies, brands, gaining so much experience. And so, like, and that's one reason why with each class I try to change up the projects and give them different clients and things like that, because some of the things I promoted I would have never imagined. Some of the situations I've been in I would have never imagined. And so I want them to experience, okay, it's like, okay, let's look at this from a legal perspective. Let's look at this with the colors theme. And let's look at this from a state, like, even state versus demographic population. And it's like, I try to tie in so many things, because when it comes to marketing, so many people think, oh, just have some cute pictures and billboards and do a cute commercial. Like, no, no, no. That commercial is supposed to tell the story behind your brand, the story that tells you how you are connected to them. It's not just, oh yeah, let's have a skit, you know? And I will never forget, like, because I play commercials in my class to show my students different ways companies do this. And there was one time where I showed that there was that one Oreo commercial a few years ago where it was an Asian family, and I believe it was the Asian son that was about to come out, and he was so nervous. And I remember playing that commercial to the class. And and the thing is, I play commercials from all around the world, different demographics, things like that. Yeah, the Mega would hate me. But yeah, I show, even with the disabled community and things like that, I show everybody and anybody, because we all make this world. We all create this wonderful, earth. And I want to show what earth represents within different demographics and things like that, because we're all beautiful and amazing. And I want other students to be able to see that, because when they make a commercial, it's like, it sometimes some companies only focus on one specific demographic so hard, because, and some of them, that's the only demographic they care about. And if that's your company, that's your company. Hey, do you boo? Do you boo? But I try to at least allow some students to see that there is representation for everybody out there. But I remember after that one of my students came up to me, And they told me how they just came out to their family and how they were like, how beautiful that commercial was. And yeah, it's like I just remember it's like they thanked me because they were just like, that was a really cute commercial. And even a couple weeks later, they said that they went to the grocery store to get Oreos, and it's like him and his siblings ended up watching. Oh, I forgot which movie, but it was like, Legally Blonde 2, the one where the dog was, I think getting married to another male dog, like, yeah, LGBTQ representation. So yeah, and I just remember that I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And so we're both talking about Legally Blonde 2 before the class started and everything. But it was, yeah, those are the memories. It's like I have so many amazing memories. I have some students who they are my rock stars. I think of them sometimes because the effort and the hard work. And there are some students who they told like they would sleep in my class. They didn't care. There's some students, especially some of the colonizer students, they just thought since they are colonizers, they just deserve an A for not putting any effort, any work. It's like they're not obligated. It's like, and then group projects, I don't give the whole group the same grade. I don't, because I know how certain students are. Yeah, I mean, because I've had students of all different type of demographics. They try to get away like, oh, it's a group grade, so I'm just gonna like, since there are some A students in this, I already know they're gonna do it. They're gonna stress out so much that they're just gonna do all the work. I'll say, yo, I'll do this, and I'll just pretend, and I'll just ignore them, and then they'll do it. Yeah, I don't give the same grade to the whole group. I sure don't. No. And then they try to complain to me. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Let's just say that, because a lot of these students start realizing, yeah, I treat you like the real world. Because if you have a job and you're supposed to work in a group and then you're not doing your part, okay, I'm gonna treat your grade like you're getting fired. I'm gonna treat your grade like you're on probation. I am going to make sure that I give the promotion to the students who actually put the work in. Yeah, because I actually had one student who he didn't do anything and he bragged about it. But then, because he knew that I kind of gotten like, because they did a presentation, oh, it was so terrible. He had the nerve to write or message all of his group members and say, if you snitch on me, if you tell the professor on me, I know where you live. Yeah, and then I had one student, she tried to threaten me. She called up her family members to jump me because, yeah, yeah. But they didn't, like, so many students don't want to put the work in. They don't want to try. They don't want to put that effort. They just want to have an A because they want an A. And I'm like, no, baby, if you're in my classroom, you got to do the work. I'm not going to treat you like a baby. Okay, you're grown now. You're grown. And it's really crazy how sometimes I have 17-year-olds or high school, they're still in high school, and they're in my classroom. They're putting more effort than some of the college age students. But yeah, I'm going to have a part two. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.